Welcome to a journey beyond the stars. In a distant galaxy, an astronaut embarks on a mission to explore the unknown. Little does he know, this mission will lead him to an extraordinary encounter that will change his life forever. Join us as we uncover the power of love in the most unexpected places. Stay tuned for an out-of-this-world love story that will touch your heart. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. In the year 2379, humanity had long since mastered space travel. The stars were no longer just distant pinpricks of light but gateways to new worlds. Among the many explorers was Captain Ethan Hale, a seasoned astronaut who had spent years orbiting Earth and beyond. His latest mission was to chart the uncharted territories of the Andromeda Galaxy, a place where no human had ever set foot. As his spacecraft, the celestial Voyager pierced through the cosmic void, Ethan felt a sense of awe and excitement. The universe was vast, full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Ethan's ship was equipped with state-of-the-art technology, including a quantum drive that allowed him to traverse the vast distances between stars in mere moments. He had been traveling alone for weeks, navigating through nebulae and asteroid fields, when his sensors detected an unusual energy signature. It wasn't a planet or a star, but something entirely different. Intrigued, Ethan adjusted his course and prepared for a closer inspection. As he approached the source of the signal, he noticed a shimmering anomaly, like a veil of light hanging in the void. It pulsed gently, radiating a soft, ethereal glow. Ethan activated his ship's external cameras and zoomed in. What he saw defied all logic and understanding. Floating within the anomaly was a figure, humanoid yet unmistakably alien. Her skin glowed with a soft, bioluminescent light, her eyes large and expressive, and her hair flowing like liquid silver. She seemed to be watching him, her presence both serene and mysterious. Ethan hesitated, unsure of what to do next. He had encountered strange phenomena before, but nothing like this. The alien girl appeared to be aware of his presence, her gaze unwavering. For a moment, they simply stared at each other across the vast expanse of space. Ethan felt a strange connection, as if they shared a silent understanding. He knew then that this encounter would change everything. Ethan decided to approach the anomaly cautiously. He slowed his ship to a near stop, maintaining a safe distance from the pulsating light. As he did so, the alien girl began to move, drifting slowly toward him. Her movements were graceful, almost fluid, as if she were swimming through the vacuum of space. Ethan watched in amazement, his heart pounding in his chest. He had never seen anything like her before, and the sense of wonder he felt was overwhelming. The alien girl extended her hand toward the ship, her fingers curling slightly as if reaching out to him. Ethan felt a surge of emotion, a mixture of curiosity and something deeper, something he couldn't quite name. He reached out with his own hand, though he knew it was impossible for them to physically touch. Still, the gesture felt significant, a bridge between two beings from completely different worlds. Suddenly, the anomaly around the alien girl began to shift, its light growing brighter and more intense. Ethan shielded his eyes, but the brightness didn't hurt. Instead, it felt warm, almost welcoming. As the light faded, the alien girl was standing on the surface of a nearby asteroid, her feet firmly planted on the rocky ground. She looked up at Ethan, her expression calm and curious. Ethan quickly landed his ship on the asteroid, careful not to disturb the fragile ecosystem. He stepped out of the cockpit, his boots crunching softly on the gravel-like surface. The alien girl remained still, watching him intently. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He didn't know what to expect, but he knew he had to communicate with her somehow. He opened his mind, sending thoughts and emotions through the universal language of the cosmos. To his surprise, the alien girl responded, her thoughts flowing into his mind like a gentle stream. She introduced herself as Lyra, a member of the Etherian race, a species that had long existed in harmony with the stars. Lyra explained that she had been drawn to Ethan's ship by the energy of his presence, sensing that he was unlike any other human she had encountered. Ethan was taken aback by the depth of her understanding. He had always believed that humans were unique, but here was an alien who could see past the superficial differences and recognize the common threads that bound all living beings together. Lyra's presence was calming, and Ethan felt a strange sense of peace wash over him. They stood together, side by side, as the stars twinkled above them, their connection growing stronger with each passing moment. Over the next few days, Ethan and Lyra explored the asteroid together, learning about each other's worlds and cultures. Lyra showed Ethan the hidden beauty of the asteroid, revealing intricate patterns of light that danced across the surface, seemingly alive with energy. Ethan, in turn, shared stories of Earth, its diverse landscapes, and the people who called it home. Though their languages were vastly different, they communicated through a shared understanding of emotions and experiences. Lyra explained that her people, the Etherians, had lived in harmony with the stars for millennia. They were a peaceful, nomadic species, moving from one celestial body to another, always seeking balance and connection. Their society was built on the principles of unity and cooperation, and they believed that every living being had a role to play in the cosmic dance of existence. Ethan found himself deeply moved by her words, realizing that there was much to learn from Lyra and her people. One evening, as the stars twinkled brightly in the sky, Ethan and Lyra sat together on the edge of the asteroid, gazing up at the endless expanse of space. The silence between them was comfortable, filled with unspoken thoughts and shared dreams. Ethan felt a warmth in his chest, a feeling he hadn't experienced in a long time. He turned to Lyra, his heart racing, and spoke the words he had been holding back for days. "Lyra," he said softly, "there's something I need to tell you." Lyra looked at him, her eyes wide and curious. "What is it, Ethan? I've never felt this way before," he continued, his voice trembling slightly. "With you, I feel complete, like I've found something I didn't even know I was missing." Lyra smiled gently, her eyes glowing softly. "I feel the same way, Ethan. You are different from anyone I have met. Your heart is open, and your spirit is pure. I can sense it." Ethan felt a wave of relief wash over him. He had been afraid to admit his feelings, unsure of how Lyra would react. But now, with her kind words, he felt a weight lift off his shoulders. They sat in silence for a while, lost in each other's company, the stars above them shining brightly. As the days passed, Ethan and Lyra grew closer, their bond deepening with each passing moment. They spent their days exploring the asteroid, discovering hidden wonders and sharing stories of their respective worlds. Ethan marveled at Lyra's ability to communicate with the stars, sensing their energy and understanding their messages. She taught him how to listen to the universe, how to tune in to the subtle vibrations that connected all things. One day, as they were walking along the edge of the asteroid, Lyra stopped suddenly, her eyes fixed on something in the distance. Ethan followed her gaze and saw a faint, shimmering light on the horizon. It was unlike anything he had seen before, a soft, pulsating glow that seemed to beckon them forward. "What is that?" Ethan asked, his voice filled with wonder. Lyra smiled, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "It's a portal, a gateway to another world. It's rare to find one so close, but it's calling to us. We must go." Ethan hesitated, unsure of what to expect. The thought of venturing through a portal to an unknown world was both thrilling and terrifying. But Lyra's confidence was contagious, and he knew that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. They made their way toward the portal, the ground beneath their feet vibrating softly with energy. As they approached, the light grew brighter, forming a swirling vortex that seemed to stretch into infinity. Lyra reached out, her hand brushing against the edge of the portal, and Ethan felt a surge of warmth flow through him. "Are you ready?" Lyra asked, her voice filled with anticipation. Ethan nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. "Let's do this." With a deep breath, they stepped through the portal, disappearing into the swirling light. On the other side, they found themselves in a breathtaking landscape, a world bathed in soft, golden light. The air was thick with the scent of flowers, and the sky was filled with floating islands, each one glowing with its own unique energy. The world on the other side of the portal was unlike anything Ethan had ever imagined. The landscape was lush and vibrant, with towering trees that seemed to reach up to the heavens, their leaves shimmering with bioluminescent light. Rivers of liquid gold flowed through the valleys, reflecting the radiant glow of the sky. Ethereal creatures flitted about, their wings trailing trails of stardust as they soared through the air. Ethan and Lyra stood in awe, taking in the beauty of their surroundings. The world felt alive, as if it were breathing, pulsating with energy. Lyra explained that this was the realm of the Etherians, a place where the boundaries between the physical and the spiritual blurred. It was a world of harmony and balance, where all things coexisted in perfect unity. As they wandered through the landscape, they came across a grand, floating city made of crystalline structures that shimmered in the golden light. The city was alive with activity, with Etherians moving gracefully through the air, their forms blending seamlessly with the environment. Lyra led Ethan through the city, introducing him to her people and showing him the wonders of their world. One of the most remarkable sights was the Great Nexus, a massive structure at the center of the city that served as the heart of the Etherian civilization. It was a vast, glowing crystal that pulsed with energy, connecting all things in the universe. Lyra explained that the Nexus was the source of their power, allowing them to harness the energy of the stars and maintain balance throughout the cosmos. Ethan was in awe of the Nexus, its brilliance and power overwhelming. He felt a deep sense of reverence, realizing the immense responsibility that came with such power. Lyra sensed his thoughts and placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "You are welcome here, Ethan," she said softly. "Your presence is a gift to our world, and we are honored to have you." Ethan smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. He knew that his journey had only just begun, and he was excited to see where it would take him next. Days turned into weeks as Ethan and Lyra explored the Etherian world, learning more about each other and their respective cultures. They spent their days wandering through the floating cities, marveling at the intricate architecture and the advanced technology that powered the Etherian civilization. Lyra introduced Ethan to the Nexus, explaining its role in maintaining balance throughout the universe. She showed him how the Etherians used the energy of the stars to heal, to create, and to protect. One evening, as they sat by the river of liquid gold, Lyra turned to Ethan with a thoughtful expression. "Ethan," she said, "there is something I need to tell you, something important." Ethan looked at her, his heart racing. "What is it?" Lyra took a deep breath, her eyes filled with a mix of hope and uncertainty. "There is a threat looming over our world, a force that seeks to disrupt the balance of the universe. It is called the Void, a dark entity that feeds on chaos and destruction. If it is allowed to grow unchecked, it will consume everything in its path." Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. "What can we do to stop it?" Lyra's expression softened. "The Etherians have tried to combat the Void for centuries, but it is too powerful. We need someone who can see beyond the limitations of our world, someone who can understand the true nature of the universe. That person is you, Ethan." Ethan was stunned. "Me? How can I possibly help?"
Lyra simületgenti.
"You possess a unique perspective, a blend of human and Etherian knowledge. Together, we can find a way to restore balance and defeat the Void. But first, we must seek the guidance of the Star Council, the ancient guardians of the universe." Ethan nodded, his mind racing. He knew that the task ahead would be difficult, but he also knew that he couldn't turn away from it. Lyra's faith in him gave him the strength to face the challenge head-on. The following day, Ethan and Lyra traveled to the Great Nexus, where they sought an audience with the Star Council. The Nexus was a breathtaking sight, its towering crystal structures glowing with an inner light that seemed to pulse with life. At the center of the Nexus was a massive, glowing orb that served as the Council's meeting place. Inside, the Council members awaited them, their forms ethereal and otherworldly. The Council was composed of 7 ancient beings, each representing a different aspect of the universe. They greeted Ethan and Lyra with a mixture of curiosity and respect, sensing the potential in Ethan that Lyra had spoken of. After introductions, Lyra explained the threat of the Void and the importance of restoring balance to the universe. The council listened intently, their expressions grave. When Lyra finished speaking, the council members exchanged looks, their minds working together to find a solution. "We have foreseen this moment," one of the council members said, her voice resonating with wisdom. "The void is indeed a formidable foe, but it is not invincible. There is a key, a force that can counterbalance its darkness. This force is known as the Heart of Unity, a relic that has the power to restore balance and harmony to the universe." Ethan's heart raced. Where is this Heart of Unity? The council member's eyes gleamed with knowledge. It is hidden in the darkest reaches of the universe, within the very heart of the void itself. To retrieve it, you must journey to the core of the void, a place where few have dared to venture. The path is perilous, and the risks are great, but with your combined strengths, you may succeed. Ethan felt a surge of determination. "We'll do it. We'll find the Heart of Unity and restore balance to the universe." Lyra nodded, her eyes filled with resolve. "Together, we can face any challenge. Let us begin our journey." The journey to the heart of the void was fraught with danger and uncertainty. Ethan and Lyra traveled through treacherous space, navigating through swirling clouds of dark matter and avoiding deadly asteroids. The closer they got to the void, the more oppressive the atmosphere became, as if the very fabric of reality was beginning to unravel. Despite the challenges, Ethan and Lyra remained steadfast, their bond growing stronger with each step. They supported each other through the trials, sharing their fears and hopes along the way. As they neared the heart of the void, they encountered strange, shadowy entities that sought to hinder their progress. These creatures were twisted versions of life, corrupted by the void's influence, and they attacked with relentless ferocity. Ethan and Lyra fought bravely, using their combined skills to overcome the obstacles in their path. Lyra's abilities to manipulate energy and light proved invaluable, while Ethan's human resilience and determination kept them moving forward. They pushed through the darkness, their spirits unbroken, until they finally reached the heart of the void. Before them lay a vast, swirling abyss, a place of pure chaos and destruction. The Heart of Unity was said to be hidden within this abyss, its light barely visible amidst the swirling shadows. Ethan and Lyra took a deep breath, preparing themselves for the final challenge. Stepping into the heart of the void was like entering a nightmare. The air was thick with malice, and the shadows seemed to whisper secrets of despair. Ethan and Lyra pressed forward, their hearts pounding in their chests. The closer they got to the Heart of Unity, the more intense the darkness became, as if the void itself was trying to consume them. The swirling shadows seemed to reach out, grasping at their very essence, but they held firm, driven by their shared purpose. As they ventured deeper into the abyss, the oppressive atmosphere grew heavier, and the whispers of the shadows became louder, more insistent. Ethan felt a creeping sense of dread, as if the void was attempting to break their resolve. But Lyra's presence beside him gave him the strength to push forward. Her calm demeanor and unwavering faith in their mission bolstered his courage. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they caught sight of a faint, radiant light in the distance. It was the Heart of Unity, a glowing orb of pure energy, suspended in the midst of the swirling darkness. The closer they got, the more the light intensified, pushing back the shadows and restoring a semblance of order to the chaotic void. With a collective breath, Ethan and Lyra reached out, their hands brushing against the surface of the Heart of Unity. The moment their fingers touched the orb, a wave of warmth and light surged through them, filling their bodies with an overwhelming sense of peace and unity. The Heart of Unity pulsed with energy, its light expanding outward, banishing the shadows and restoring balance to the surrounding area. With the Heart of Unity safely in their possession, Ethan and Lyra made their way back through the void, guided by the newfound light and energy they carried within them. The journey back was easier, as the Heart of Unity's presence acted as a beacon, illuminating their path and dispelling the lingering darkness. As they emerged from the void, they found themselves once again in the golden light of the Etherian world, greeted by the relieved faces of their friends and allies. The news of their successful retrieval of the Heart of Unity spread quickly, and soon, The entire Etherean civilization was celebrating their triumph. The Star Council convened to discuss the next steps in restoring balance to the universe. With the heart of Unity's power, they could begin the process of healing the damage caused by the void and preventing future threats. Ethan and Lyra stood together, watching as the Ethereans worked tirelessly to harness the heart of Unity's energy. The transformation was immediate and profound, as the world around them began to heal and flourish. The rivers of liquid gold flowed more freely, the trees grew taller and more vibrant, and the floating islands glowed with renewed energy. In the weeks that followed, Ethan and Lyra became integral members of the Etherean community, helping to guide the restoration efforts and sharing their knowledge and experiences. Ethan's human perspective proved invaluable, offering fresh insights and innovative solutions to problems that had plagued the Ethereans for generations. Lyra, in turn, continued to teach Ethan about the deeper connections between all things, helping him to understand the true nature of the universe. Their bond deepened further as they worked side by side, facing challenges and celebrating successes together. The love they shared was no longer just a personal connection but a symbol of unity and harmony for the entire Etherean civilization. They became symbols of hope and resilience, inspiring others to believe in the possibility of overcoming even the darkest of challenges. One evening, as they sat by the river under the starlit sky, Lyra turned to Ethan with a soft smile. "Ethan," she said, "our journey has been long and difficult, but we have come so far. Together, we have faced the void and restored balance to the universe. But our work is not done. There are still many worlds to save, many lives to protect." Ethan nodded, his heart swelling with pride and love. "We'll do it, Lyra. We'll continue to fight for peace and harmony, for as long as it takes." Lyra placed her hand in his, their fingers intertwining. "And we'll do it together, always." Months passed, and Ethan and Lyra continued their work, traveling to distant worlds and aiding civilizations in need. They became legends, their names whispered in awe and admiration across the galaxies. Their love story was not just a tale of two individuals finding each other, but a testament to the power of unity and cooperation in the face of adversity. One day, as they returned to the Etherean world, they were greeted by the Star Council, who had gathered to honor their achievements. The council presented them with a symbol of their shared legacy, a glowing pendant shaped like the heart of unity, imbued with the power of the universe. Ethan and Lyra accepted the pendant with gratitude, knowing that it represented not just their personal journey, but the collective effort of countless beings across the cosmos. The ceremony concluded with a celebration, a grand feast filled with music, laughter, and joy. Ethan and Lyra stood together, watching as their friends and allies danced and celebrated. They felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that their love and partnership had made a difference in the universe. Years later, Ethan and Lyra settled into a quiet life on a remote planet, far from the bustling cities and the constant demands of their missions. They built a simple home, surrounded by nature, where they could live in peace and reflect on their journey. The heart of unity remained a constant presence in their lives, its light a reminder of the strength and unity they had found together. One evening, as they sat on their porch, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink, Ethan turned to Lyra with a smile. "Do you ever think about the future, Lyra?" he asked. Lyra looked at him, her eyes glowing softly. "Every day, Ethan, every day. But I don't worry about it. Whatever comes, we'll face it together, just as we always have." Ethan nodded, his heart full of love and gratitude. "I'm glad we found each other, Lyra. Truly glad." Lyra leaned in, placing a gentle kiss on his cheek. "And I'm glad we're here, together always." As they sat together, basking in the warmth of the evening, Ethan and Lyra knew that their journey was far from over. There would always be new worlds to explore, new challenges to face, and new opportunities to embrace. But no matter where their path led them, they would face it together, their love and unity guiding them every step of the way. The universe was vast, full of wonders and mysteries waiting to be discovered. But for Ethan and Lyra, the greatest discovery of all was each other. Their love transcended the boundaries of time and space, a beacon of hope and unity in a vast and often indifferent cosmos. And so, Ethan and Lyra continued their journey, hand in hand, heart to heart, always together. They were more than just two beings from different worlds. They were partners in a cosmic dance, weaving a tapestry of love and unity that spanned the stars. Their story was one of hope, of perseverance, and of the power of love to overcome even the darkest of challenges. As they ventured into the unknown, their hearts filled with the light of the heart of unity, they knew that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, always. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this heartwarming love story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more amazing content. Don't miss out on the next adventure.